Art is a relationship, it's not a job. You're like, what? People get paid for it. It's obviously, it can be and is a job, blah, 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 caveat away. But it is should be treated as a relationship, not a job. You're like, why? Because it's emotional. It is emotional. It is not in all ways, but I'm gonna draw some parallels, which I should not. It is in a lot of ways probably like motherhood. Obviously, it's not the same. Motherhood is much more difficult, blah, 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 blah. Absolutely, I agree. I'm just saying blah, blah, blah because I cannot caveat everything forever. But it is quite similar in the sense of it is hugely important and it is a job, but it is also very linked to your identity and you. It is not like a job where you're like clocking out. Whatever comment I see about my book now, I shall not care. Like, it's not like that. Whereas if you, I don't know, if it's the stock market, or probably the stock market even less, because the stock market, I know nothing about this, so I'm talking just to talk, is a little bit like random positive reinforcement, which is what people use in gambling and other addictions. That's how they're founded. They're founded obviously on other things too, but a lot of addictions are found, gambling addiction especially, is founded on random positive reinforcement. And some people do this even, where they won't respond and then they respond and then they like, there's this like weird algorithm you can't crack and it makes it more addictive. They did an experiment on rats and they were most addicted to the things that came randomly. Not when it never came and not when it always came, but when it randomly was there and then not, randomly was there and then not. Where is my train of thought? Why did I start with that? I actually don't know. Anyways, we are attached to it. You're attached to it. And I like the concept of detachment and I think it has its warrants. But you don't detach from children. Nobody's like, you know what you need? You just need to detach, not care. I am so zen, I don't care what my children do. That would be insane. If a mom said that, you'd be like, I'm worried now. And you can kind of take that on with art. Now, not to the same degree, because you don't have the same control. You do not have the control of perception. But again, your mom can't either. I have to let go of this example before I say more than I know. But it is a relationship. It is a give and take. And it is absolutely like love. You're like, what? It is like love. It is much more like love than it is like anything else. Much more like that than a job. Oh, right, that's what I wanted. The stock market. That people who do finance at the stock market might also have a relationship like that because it gets addictive. But it's not, a child is not addictive. You're not addicted to your child, you're attached to your child. So that's where I'm gonna let go of all of the examples now, as I promised before. Your ability to see this as a relationship is gonna help you so much, because once you view it as a job, A, there comes pressure, and B, it becomes the wrong type of pressure. I've used this example before, which is I lied. I did not take rid of the example. If someone would be pregnant, and the second they were pregnant, they would be like, okay, I need this kid to be a lawyer. You'd be like, they're not even out yet. Can you like let them breathe? And the best way to even facilitate this would be to be kind, to give them food, to make sure they're doing great, to make sure they're balanced and healthy and blah, 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 to make them sure they go to a good kindergarten and first grade and go step by step. And then you're facilitating the best possible scenario where they can do that. But the best idea is not like, okay, kid, lawyer. That'd be insane. That'd be insane. Everyone's insane sometimes though, so, take this with a grain of salt. But that's sometimes the way people view their art. Okay, this needs to be a bestseller. Okay, this needs to go viral. Okay, this needs to go... And this kid is not even in first grade. Can you let the kid be in first grade? And it's not about goals. Because I think your art goals, I guess that's the through line with this, your art goals should be to really express, to really get to know yourself or what you're writing about in fiction, or what you're explaining to the audience in nonfiction, or whatever else, or what you're singing about, to really get down to the bone and marrow of this emotion. That should be the goal. Yes, of course, bestseller, top 100, whatever is nice, but that shouldn't be the goal. That should be kind of like the side effect. The side effect of an amazing book is a bestseller. Is every amazing book a bestseller? No. But not every bestseller is an amazing book either. But that shouldn't be the goal. The goal shouldn't be the lawyer. The goal should be a healthy, happy kid. The goal should be an artwork you're proud of. Because your relationship with you and your relationship with art is like a Venn diagram. It's not completely overlapped, and it shouldn't be. That's when you go full on insane. But you do absolutely have it intertwined a little bit. And for that intertwinement, you need to understand that if you drive yourself off the rails just to get somewhere, it doesn't matter where you're driving. If you're driving too fast, you're speeding. So you're going to get a ticket and have to go back all the way. You're like, where is this metaphor going? You have to enjoy the journey, but you also have to enjoy what is there and what you have control of. You don't have control over how people perceive it. The same way, if metaphor number one, the same way you don't have control over how people receive a relationship or perceive a relationship, you don't have control over how anyone perceives anything, because there's so much context to every single person. There's their trauma, their life story, the things they link together, the neurons that are put together, the random movie they watched when their subconscious was still building, the country that they grew up in, the social norms that they're used to. There's so much context to one person that 3 people can look at the exact same thing and see something different. Something completely different. And that's what makes art cool, because you're never going to run out of opinions, because your opinions are curated by you and nobody's ever been you. Even if they've lived your whole life like you, they don't have the same perception. They don't have the same experiences. They don't have the same mind. They just don't. But if you are so consumed with, I need this relationship to look cool, it actually ends up feeling worse. Usually. The better you want something to look, the worse it usually feels. You want an example? People who lose weight to look good versus people who lose weight to be healthy and look good. Yeah, it may look good, but if you're eating 3 cubes of cheese and doing really weird things to lose weight, it might look good, but your relationship with your body is destroyed. And to regain that relationship is going to take so much time. To regain the relationship you have with art is going to take so much time. If you treat it as a job, if you treat it as I need to be efficient, I need to get things done, I need to da-da-da-da-da. It is not like that. That's not how it is. I loved when people said acting was my first love, this art form was my first love. And when I was younger, I didn't get it. It was first love. Am I missing something? But that actually is the perfect metaphor for art. It is a relationship. It is a give and take, and it is emotional, and it is a Venn diagram. It's not completely you, but it is a Venn diagram, and it should overlap, and it gets to overlap, and you don't clock out of it the same way. And being busy with its perception helps nobody. That doesn't mean, I'm not insane. I'm not insane in this way. I'm not insane in the sense of just don't care. Don't care what people think. Don't care if people hate what you put out. No, that's insane. You care about it. The same way if someone came up to mom and was like, I hate your kid, or your kid's stupid, the mom wouldn't be like, I have detached. No, the mom would be like, what is happening with you? Well, depending on the mom, different reactions. But the weirdest reaction would be if the mom had no reaction. Everyone would be like, I don't know, are you waiting to react? What's happening? So you have to give yourself grace in that sense. But you do have to view it as a relationship. You do have to view it as something you're pouring into. You do have to view it as something you invest into. And that you're constantly improving. Because when you're improving yourself, you're improving the relationship you have with art. When you're getting smarter, when you have a better vocabulary, when you learn how to rest better, when you are just keep on growing and growing and growing, that's when it gets much better. Don't forget to subscribe, and check out my books. I have an order that just arrived, so I just have to go quickly, but don't forget to comment if you have any questions about this.